What's up, everybody? Little Big Robots here. Back after a week or so off. I enjoyed having some time to kind of work on a project like this that I've been meaning to do for a while. This is some more of my Rihio kits. Rihio is a Chinese-based company, and they make these little mecha kits called Multi-Abyss. V-Link Mecha. So it's Rihio's Multi-Abyss V-Link Mecha. So there's like three kind of things there. It's basically based in a world where there's these alien bugs and you have to fight them using these mechs. That's the gist of it for the most part. And what's funny is I've had these are my first, these type of kits are my first, if I can get that. This is the first one I got. This is the first one they did as well, MM001. And I thought I'd review these. I guess I had not. But Big Bag Toy Store had these on sale, so I grabbed a few extras. And let me just give you an idea of the scale of what I'm doing here. Essentially, I'm doing the same thing with my Hexagear and some of my other kits that are modular. Excuse me, modular is kind of my thing. I'm taking them, I'm putting them together, building the different kits and stuff, and then gathering all the the extra parts together, so that I can start doing custom stuff again. I haven't had much time to do a lot of custom stuff lately, because I do 4 videos a week sometimes, and with that you just kind of run out of time to do what I love, which is custom type stuff. So this is the basic line. This is the basic newbie set. You get this kind of generic looking guy here, but what's cool about it is you can make like a flamethrower style. You can you just make tons of stuff. They give you, I'll show you all the parts in a minute here, but they give you a ton of stuff. And it comes in, I believe, 3 colors. I built this one using an open cockpit. The arms are kind of cocked back here, but the idea is I'm going to build this one as kind of an ammo unit or something, like maybe carrying ammo and helps them load up. For example, I built this one just using some basic parts as like a loader, and you can put the parts into there. See how cool that looks? They're about as flexible as you think they would be, as posable. For little guys like this, they're actually really, they're just ball and socket joints, so you can do a lot of crazy stuff with them. And every time I think, man, I don't know, what else should I do with these things, go to the Rihio YouTube page, which I'll link in the description, and they have so many. There's obviously somebody's job is just to sit there and build little custom stuff. And they have so many cool little custom ideas on there. As soon as you get kind of like if you get kind of a creator's block with these things, you go look on their page and you're like, oh, and you start, like here I made another little like maintenance vehicle, and these are all different parts from different kits. I believe it's mostly from the construction kit here, what I call the construction kit. So really cool. Such a fun line. I'm also using extra parts to build something crazy like this, that while it's mismatched, I want to fill in some of the volume. I want to run some cabling and stuff like that. It's a little mismatched or whatever. I might even go ahead and start painting some customs, which is really what I love to do. So you get all these kits, you build them. They're about $25 for the small, probably closer to $30 for the construction kits. And then from my other Rihio reviews, you can see how big they get. What's funny is the Big Bad Toy Store manuals are this higher quality kind of paper. I don't know why. The rest of them are like this, and some of them are like a book. So I'm not really sure why. Maybe it's because this was the first set they made, so maybe sending to a big site, or to a site that could move a volume like Big Bad Toy Store, they sent these special ones. I don't know, got a different version. But here's an idea on some of the leftover parts, and this is not anywhere near all of the parts. But what's cool is you just get stuff. If you're a Hexagear person, you're going to know what I'm talking about. But you just get a sprue or two, once you're done building it, it's going to have leftover bits. So the project I'm doing now with all my gunpla parts and everything is just trim these off, store them in a thing, and then I can just sit there with a pile of fun parts and just build amazing stuff. I mean, like, look at the armor piece, for example. I tweeted this out the other yesterday and last night about how much I love their little extra bits of stuff, you know, that you can, even if you don't use these on Rihio, some of these parts might work on a hexagear kit or might even a gunpla or something like that. But they're just the weapon stuff. If you're into weapons, you get cool barrels. These parts are go on the bottom of the car right here. But as you can see, they also would make a great plating or something. The pilots here are they've developed better ones over time. Where's my pilots? Here they are. I probably got 40 of them left, and they've gotten a lot more detailed, a lot more. The very first ones were just static. You couldn't move them around. Now they make them where they have even a crunch and everything. I think one of these guys has a. Let's see, which one of these guys has a modern pin? That's the old version, for example. I'll take him out here. Oh, it's hard to take him out, but you see how he's just kind of static in there? Here's one of the newer models, newer versions. And as you can see, he's got bendable legs, arms, and look at this, even a crunch in his little crunch. So I love this size. This 1/60th scale, I think they say. I would like to take one of these guys and paint them up. Maybe start doing some painting of it, because I have like I said, 30 or 40 of these. Some of them even metallics, I think, color. So I want to paint them all up and then set up my shelf space more like a bit of a you know, like a diorama. So you get some of the older ones, and as you see, I think the older ones are even a little bit larger. Not about the same, but you know, it's cool that you get one that's kind of frozen like that too. You can maybe use that for something where you don't need a moving person. But as you can see, you just get tons and tons and tons of cool, nice molds that you can use on other stuff. This is definitely not a Rihio part. I accidentally got a Fortnite gun in there. So that's just one box, and I'm slowly cutting apart all the sprues, and then I'm organizing them into bits, like armor bits. This is you'll have to look it up. I have the review of it in the playlist at the end of this video and in the description, but this is a jet type, like a carrier. So I'm going to reassemble that and have it carrying 3 or 4 of them. I've got just a bag that I'm just putting weapons. I mean, look at all the blades. This cool weapon. You know, that can be weapons, but they could also be tools. Then you've got all these carapace kind of parts. I love the construction-y type stuff. As you know, if you watched me before, I love construction type bots. So most of these, although I have them weaponed out and everything, I might just use this as construction. So you get, so as you can see, even if you were to use this on something else, you get with Rihio, just in the Rihio universe alone, you get tons of cool parts to play with. That at first you're like, they're not very, there's not much you can do with it. It's not like Lego where there's individual square bits you can build anything. But once you start playing with it, you realize, man, you can assemble some insanely cool stuff. Like, look at this part. I'm not even sure where that goes. I'll have to look, but that would be a fantastic arm piece. You get these tons of these fantastic. They're like a smokestack, for like a diesel car or something, So I've got to take all this and organize it into individual bags. And how I'm doing that is I'm basically, I don't know what this was. Oh, these were just loose parts. I'm basically putting stuff like, if it has to do with a leg, put them in a leg bag. Maybe legs and arms, because they're similar. You can see how the leg and the arm are similar. You can use one. You could swap these and just put a hand on the end of the foot, and it'd be an arm. And then I'll put stuff like, basically, I'm just going for shape and size, so that when I'm building, if there's a particular kind of part I'm looking for, I can just look in that bag that has that kind of theme. I like to do this kind of stuff. It looks like a cool fist thing, but see, it's just mounted in there. And the cabling is literally just sitting there because it sits down tight enough that it's just loose. See, but they give you enough to really do some really fun stuff, So I just love Rihio. I'm a little bit concerned about the future because I might start at some points. I'm not going to be buying as many toys from China, if at all, so I'm a little bit concerned about this. But we'll see. I mean, just the tires, you could put them in stacks like a diorama of like a junkyard or something. They give you these fantastic effects parts like lights and stuff. And then of course tons. These came with a recent one here, like the tread stuff. Again, you can see all my reviews for these in one of the other videos. But you get cool parts like that even if you don't use for Rihio, it's worth it to have that kind of leftover stuff. So after you build one of these guys, you get some parts like this that you can build the car, maybe a carrier, or you can combine them into like a construction type vehicle. You know, but if you just build this little guy, you've got so much left over that you get 2 or 3 boxes of those, and you get just a ton of extra parts. Like I said, I built this just kind of fun, like a little maintenance type vehicle, and I can only imagine if I took the time to paint this up, in, you know, metallics and some weathering and stuff, it would look really cool. I would add a little bit more to beef it up, but you know, my only complaint is sometimes the joints and stuff, like here and here, you can kind of see it's a little bit too obvious. You know, you can kind of see behind the curtain a bit, if that makes sense. But like I said, with a little paint stuff, you can really do a lot of you won't even notice that type of stuff. You have these little claws that actually open and close. I mean, they just give you a ton of parts. So even if you're just looking for something, a line to just you know, sitting at your desk and playing with it while you work or something like that, this is a really, really great line to do that. This is, just so you know, MM002 and MM001, and what I love about that, as for collectors, you see, there's no writing the whole, you can just write, do I have MM001? Yes, check mark. It comes in 3 colors. Do you want green, blue, you know, and it's just much easier to collect, so I don't have to write down the whole title and all that kind of stuff. I just write down the MM number, and I think they're up to MM10 now, MM010 or something like that, and I've reviewed them all, so they're all going to be in this basically in this playlist at the end of the video. So you know, you can see, you can just get really cool. This I just loosely put on here, but they always have cool like canopies, and you know, it's just a fun line. I really like it. I believe it's a bit like a cheaper version of Diaclone, but from what I understand about Diaclone, it's not customizable like this. Diaclone, correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, Diaclone is a set design, and you buy it and you play with it that way. You don't take apart everything like this. I can take every single part here out and put it in something else, if that makes sense. So, but anyway, thought you guys would dig that. I was shocked I hadn't reviewed these before. This is one of my favorite lines, easily. I still really love it. I love that they come out at a kind of a slow pace, maybe a few a year. So if you're buying them and you know money's a little bit of an issue, it's not that big of a deal. But like I said, this kit 01 and 02 were on sale at Big Bag Toy Store if you want to go buy some. I think they were around 20 bucks a pop, something like that. Just a really fun line. Isn't that cool? I just love it. Have a good day, everybody. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.